Discovery is the password to this garden. One discovery is how their house in East Austin looked in 1890. Another for Leah and Philip Leveridge was learning to garden with the same respect for water resources. But unlike in 1890, these days anyone can discover what's up at the Eastside Patch. Now that Adeline and Nathan are on board, they're learning along with their parents.
We never even mowed our yard. We had to hire somebody to mow our yard. So when we moved here, it was trial and error gardening to make it a nicer place to be.
There was a sea of Bermuda grass out the back here with really large lantana bushes underneath the post oak, which it was just a continuous hassle, mowing, breaking the blades because of the plastic blade would hit the lantana. So we just got really tired of doing that and thought there must be a better way.
Yeah. So we spent the whole first summer we were here digging up lantana plants and all the vines that had been untended here, and just basically cleaning everything out and not really worrying too much about planting anything, but trying to get it cleaned out because our dogs were scared to go in the back of the yard because the lantana plants were so thick and overgrown.
Next on the renovation list was a pond. It didn't work. Undaunted and inspired by a friend's stock tank version, they went for Plan B. Philip added a feeder pond to dechlorinate water before he pumps it to the fish pond. They used the soil from the pond dig to build up well-drained mounds that add further dimension to the flat space.
And it just gradually spread out. I mean, we started landscaping in a little area and then just progressively tackled the next area and the next area after that.
You have to start somewhere. You just have to get going.
At one point, we had a couple of pathways running up from here to the back of the lot, but the rest of the yard we covered in pine bark mulch, so that we just covered an expansive area, and it stayed like that for quite a few years. And that was a good thing because it killed whatever was left of the Bermuda grass. And at the end of it, when we started to form the pathways, we just raked that mulch back, and sort of, you could see where the pathways, where the curves were going to go, and that really helped define the shape of the beds.
Back. Are you back?
Come on. We started buying bags of decomposed granite and quickly found out they don't really go very far. So then we started getting into the bulk deliveries, and yeah, that helped.
Yeah, you just have to keep plugging away at it and just do a little bit here and there as you can, and that's what we did. We would just get a few plants and we'd put them in and we go, wow, that doesn't look like we did anything. But then, after you do that for a couple of years, then it starts filling in.
Plants grew so fast, including one of their first, clumping giant timber bamboo, that Philip is never denied a moving or a redesign project.
He's always out here ripping something up, or building something and then taking it back down, or...
Yeah, if it doesn't work, change it.
Yeah.
Philip's geared for precision, aligned with creative unrestraint.
I think there's an element of contrast. I think that the lines and the definition of the beds contrast with a looser formed planting style, as it were. And those two elements work really good together. So, it's organized chaos.
Yeah. And you are a control freak. Or maybe disciplinarian when it comes to plants.
She's lying.
In their drought-hardy, no-kill garden, they want to nurture wildlife. They also want diversity through strong foliar colors and textures.
The contrast between the softer flowers and the spikies, as it were, that just works for us.
They furthered the backyard's aspect ratio with a salvage gate that leads to a secret spot, the compost piles. For them, secret spots are integral.
Where I grew up in Scotland, we grew up on an estate. We had a house on a large rundown estate. So there was huge groves of bamboo and summer houses and just all dilapidated structures. You know, that at one time had been beautiful, but I think the estate, that having that environment, the pathways leading around the estate, and it's sort of, the garden sort of is a miniaturization of that in some respect. Just the way that, you know, the large estates had all these pathways that would converge and cut through the land, as it were.
Now they cut a pathway to discovery with their children, one that's shared with their parents, like Leah's dad, Thomas.
The kids have found tunnels all over the yard. There's like little back areas that they go down, and they play that they're bears, and there's lots of nooks and crannies.
Yeah, lots of fantasy play that can go on back here, for sure. We didn't ever set out to have like a playscape yard or a yard that, a garden that was going to have, you know, big playscape areas or anything in it.
You can't beat a stick.
Can't beat a stick. Stick is the greatest toy. We find that it's the greatest place for them to be and experience nature and learn about bugs and animals and plants and what not to eat and what not to touch.
Shells are pretty fun too, per Adeline's discerning eye. And these days, Leah and Philip see the pond through new eyes.
There's a lot of fishing goes on in it, play fishing.
And our fish are so tame. I mean, they
Yeah.
are like, they actually let our youngest pet them. He goes
Yeah, he
up
picks
and
them out of the
picks them
water
up,
and-
and they are not bothered at all. And so it's, you know, he thinks all fish should be like that. Come here, fishy. They come to him.
Pet fishy.
For us, as well as the kids, there's always something to be discovered back here.
Go see the bee. Is there, what else is on there? Is there a butterfly?
And like the cattails, Philip took a picture, which actually the picture that won an award on Gardening Gone Wild, with Addie with the cattails going everywhere, you know. I mean, those are amazing playthings.
On Eastside Patch, Philip chronicles their story of a family in the garden. But like the garden, he throws in a few jolts too.
He makes the most amazing connections between things that I would have never thought of. You know, like, oh yeah, that does make you think of, you know.
And it's funny. It's you know,
Yeah, it is a laugh.
we have a laugh doing it.
Yeah.
My background is in art. I'm an industrial designer. So I'm always looking at relationships between objects, nature, man-made, and I guess seeing connections in there.
It's just the way his brain works. Connects in ways that isn't like the rest of us.
I don't know about that.